Good morning, folks. It is morning time. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead on this beautiful. How you doing, beautiful? Give me a hug, beautiful. How you been? You doing okay? You're doing okay. You're doing okay. Take a deep breath. Jesus already won, baby. We already won the battle. Y'all good? Yes, you are. But give me a hug. How you doing on this Friday? Let me tell you, I don't know what it's doing in your neck of the woods, but it is gorgeous here. It is crazy town. Earlier in the week, we are reeling from the mud from last week. I filmed it. I mean, when you have 3 to 4 full days of muddy rain, and then, you don't get a warming trend above 75, 80 degrees and sun for a while. This is how we're just going to be. And we already dug all that stuff out right before all that rain hit. So that's the way love goes, Janet Jackson. But how you doing? You all right? I know it is what it is. So how are you come along with diet? I don't mean dieting, just changes and maybe walking, lifting some weights. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, this is not what the video is going to be about, but I do have a video coming up about something. I promise you, listen to me. Don't wait till this New Year's comes around into 2026, which is going to be a crazier year than the one you just endured and the one you went through last year. Don't wait till then to start getting on track with yourself, because you need to be able to handle yourself. That's what all of this, when I talk to you about making changes in your diet, making changes in how you are sleeping, how you are trying to pull away from things that stress you. I mean, you can't get away from everything. I get it. I know none of us can, it seems. I mean, there's things you have to do, and life can be very stressful. And you should know by now that 2026 is amping up to be even it's going to be crazier. Then don't wait until January 1st or January 2nd, actually, to say, I'm going to start doing these things. Start doing them now. We'll talk about that later. But I promise you, do it consistently and just go for it. You're going to handle life so much better. So I meant to make this video yesterday, and I did not I didn't hardly do any content of any sort yesterday. Like you, here we are 2 weeks out, less than 2 weeks out to Thanksgiving. So we are, as of yesterday, we're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. That was yesterday. I think that was one of the best songs Foreigner did. I really like that one. Squirrel. But seriously, weren't the 80s great? I just scrolled you again, didn't I? I'm good at that. So listen, 2 weeks yesterday, Thanksgiving. 6 weeks yesterday, Christmas Day. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes. And then 7 weeks from yesterday, New Year's Day. If I may be crazier than a Goonie bird, like half the country out there, but you're in less than 7 weeks, you're going to be into 2026. Is that not insane? That's insane on its own. So here's what I'm saying to you. You can do a lot in that time frame, and it's going to go by like that, baby. So after I film this video, you'll see this video hopefully tonight. James and I are hopping to the gym and running a few errands this afternoon and coming back and working on the farm because the weather is just that beautiful. But here's what I want to talk to you about. So I know everybody and their mama's talking about it, okay, but I want to talk about it too. And I want to make an important point. And, I always say do what works best for you, but you might want to include the little Jesus in on the equation. So let's talk about the hypothetical of the $2,000 that everybody has spun out about this week. Can $2,000 make or break you? Yeah, I think $2,000 can make or break a lot of situations for a lot of different people right now, depending on what's going on and how they choose to make that $2,000 work for them. But let me make a suggestion, because this is how I am rolling with it. If I were to get $2,000 and it shows up in my checking account, Okay, let's just go with that. I mean, I know everybody wants to debate, oh, the inflation, it's going to be inflationary. And then you have other people say, well, no, it shouldn't be because, it's all this back and forth because the money should be there. So why would it be inflation? There's all that argument. Okay, here's my point of view about all this first and foremost. If we're going to get if they want to give you your money, can we start charging interest ourselves on all this? I mean, really? But anyway, if you get $2,000, let's just go for it. If you got $2,000 today, I'm just saying you, one person. If you got $2,000, here's what I'm going to suggest you do with it. You do what you want. I'm not your mama, but I do want you to pray on it because this is a praying crowd, and I think that most of you are going to, even though you're going to go, oh, don't do that. Right off the top of $2,000, you need to tithe it, and then you need to consider being charitable with it too. Now, I know somebody's going to say, well, I'm already in a bad way. Yeah, a lot of people are. I know. I'm aware. You are too. We've been keeping up with inflation for the last 4 years on this channel. We've done the math. We know. Might be a little fuzzy here or there, but if you've watched my channel for over the last 3 to 5 years, you know that we've been doing a lot on inflation, actual going and taking numbers and doing math equations and keeping the receipts and keeping journals. I'm very well aware, folks. I go out and have to buy things like you do, okay? Buy feed and hay and blue jeans and, I go to the store and buy stuff just like you do, okay? So I know, we all know, right? Heating bill, whatever, gas goes up and down. I mean, we can argue all sorts of things, but here's what I want to tell you. No matter how bad of a situation you're in today, there's so many people that are probably a little bit or a whole lot worser. Okay? So the first thing that I want to encourage you to do is to tithe. Now, somebody's going to say, I ain't giving my money to none of them churches because I don't trust any of them. Oh, I get you, brother. I understand. So let me tell you this real quick, because I didn't mention this little tidbit in my Holy Man videos that I put out the last 2 weeks. He actually said at least once, if not twice, to me and to James, he said, if you're going to a church and they're not teaching you and speaking the truth of all the things that are happening, he said, you need to stop tithing to that church. He said, I want you to continue to tithe. He said, but what I want you to do is to take that money and I want you to put it in an envelope and set it aside every week or every month. He said, hold that. Don't you touch that money. He said, because something is going to appear to you somewhere, another church, another person, to where you can give your tithe to. So if you are stuck right now in terms of your tithing, I think his suggestion is really good. See, because really, at the end of the day, whether we work for money, whether we are owed money, whether we paid into something and we're getting something back, or however you want to skin that varmint, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it is God's money, isn't it? So, even though we can all argue the ups and downs and pros and cons of the quote tariff end quote money, if I got $2,000 today, I'm taking it and I'm running with it like a jackrabbit. And the first thing that I'm going to do is do exactly what I suggested to you. Now, some people cross up, think whether you should tithe or is tithing and being charitable the same. People argue that too. I'm not going to get into the minutia with you about that, but I'm just saying, I would really pray on that, because you have an opportunity to elevate yourself with something, and we have to give the glory to God first, okay? Because like I said, I can't tell you how many times, I don't know if it's because of, this is not new, and I think a lot of you are like this as well. You'll go out in public and it doesn't take a lot anymore to be in a parking lot walking or come into a store and you see a scenario where someone is struggling. I have a real high sensitivity to grown adults who are caretakers of their grown adult children who are severely disabled. And I know there's probably some of you out there that are in this boat, please don't take this the wrong way, but we were out just the other day, and I looked at James. I said, I don't have any problems today. I don't have any problems today. And he was like, okay, what did I miss? And I just looked, and he said, okay. And it was a woman. I'm going to bet you she was probably 80. And she was hunched over, and she was getting out of her car, and she had come around, and she got her, I'm pretty sure it'd be her daughter. The girl looked to be, she wasn't a girl, it was a woman. She was in her 40s, and she was severely disabled. And so my take on it was, obviously that's the caretaker, but it looked like a mother and daughter scenario. And when I say I don't have any problems today, I don't mean it as condescension to that. I'm just like, I don't question God and why things are the way they are, but I have a special appreciation for parents in those scenarios. I get it. So what I'm saying is no matter what you're going through today, no matter how bad your hair day was, no matter if you had a bill that came in that you didn't expect, maybe you stubbed your toe, maybe you didn't get that bonus you expected. I know. I get it. Tire blew out on you, whatever. You can go out, and it doesn't take you long to look around and go, I just got put back in my place. So my point is no matter, even in that scenario, somebody is worse off in so many ways. So I'm encouraging you to give how you're comfortable in giving. Now, the next thing that I'm going to encourage you to do, which a lot of smart people are already telling you, and my husband has already said, he said, well, I'm going to tell you what I would do. He said, I would invest it in gold and silver if I could. He said, if I didn't have to pay off any bills, or if I didn't feel a certain urge that I had to get food today, he said, I'd probably put it back into gold or silver. I think that's smart. Now, if you are obviously behind on some bills, you need to get caught up, okay? I think it would be good to give. I think it'd be good to put a little bit aside, to tithe and be charitable. Then I maybe put a little portion, a couple $100 aside, just to have some emergency money. If you don't have some emergency money, please put aside some emergency money, $300 or $400. I don't know if that's going to work for you mathematically. You could think about buying some gold or silver if you don't have to buy food. If you need to buy food, obviously that is something you need to consider. That's pretty important. If you need certain clothing items for winter especially, that would be important, a heavy coat, depending on where you are. Life items, okay? Okay, not something frivolous. This is not to be going towards Christmas presents for other people. You do what you want, but that would not be my recommendation. You got to get yourself set right first. If you're going to buy food, let me make a recommendation. Now, a lot of people will tell you to go and buy long-term storage food. Okay, that's an option. But to me, a really important longer-term food that a lot of people like and that is easy to get, you don't have to go buy 1,000 of them, but a couple of really nice, maybe a case or two or cans of the meats. I would be getting some meats on the shelf. A lot of people argue about Spam and the hams and all of that, whatever, but I really think that if you've got a little bit of money, put it into something very valuable. I think meats are important. I think your Keystone meats are really, really good. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at a lot of grocery stores. Are they the ones here that we bought several years ago that I still have on my shelf that are still good? They've got really good, quote, expiration dates. There's another situation I wouldn't stress too hard about, but you need that protein, guys. But they haven't gone up in price too much here. Get you some really good protein to put on the shelf, okay? I know a lot of times we try to go for a lot of whatever is the most bang for the buck, and I get that. But I also want you to have something nutrient with more nutrient value to it. And in my opinion, I think a lot of your meats, and they have different types. So you might want to look into that. So you have to look at your individual, but please don't go blow this money on something ridiculous. A concert, Christmas presents. This is a blessing. Could it end up being a curse? Only if you make it one. Because here's what my point is. Take the money and run with it, because inflation's going to hit you anyway. I mean, we're talking about thousands of jobs. I mean, what was it yesterday? They announced Verizon. Is it they're going to be losing 15,000 jobs. So maybe after you're charitable, you do just a couple of small things. Maybe it would be a wise idea to put this money aside, because you might need it much sooner than later. Some people will say, well, don't go put it in the bank and don't do this and do that. It's going to lose value. Well, here's the thing. I mean, at the end of it, if it's $1,200 or $1,500, I have a feeling that you may need $1,200 or $1,500 in the next couple of months. So maybe just doing nothing, observing the blessing of it, make it a blessing, pass the blessing, thank God for it, because it may be you may not need something today, but you might need something come February. Maybe you'll need to pay your property taxes so you can live on your farm. I don't know. But pray about it, okay? And if it doesn't feel right, once you give, set it aside. Don't feel this pressure that you have to go out and burn a hole in your pocket, right? That's not what smart people do. That's not what smart people do in terms of their finances. So take your time with it and look around. But like I said, make it something life-changing, not something that's valuable in terms of your life force. Okay? So am I going to take the money? Doggone right I am. Yep. And everybody that hates Donald Trump's going to take it too. And at the end of the day, if you truly look around and you're like, honestly, I don't want the money. They just stuck it in there. All right, big dog, go take the money out. Go tithe and be charitable with it. And do something positive with it. Because there's enough need to go around for everybody. And I hate to say that, but we've talked about this for many years. You knew this was coming, okay? This is not something that any presidential candidate could change in a year. I mean, honestly, a lot of the things that we are experiencing right now are things that happened several years ago, 20 years ago. So do what you can with it. And you know what? If nothing else, God knows and God sees you doing the right things with that, and you trying to be responsible with that. And it may not be today, but I am truly convinced that you will be blessed so many times over. And it may be in some way that you don't even realize. Maybe it comes in the form of good health. Because you're here to endure. And that's what warriors do. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I hope you're going to have a good weekend. Lots of videos coming your way. It's been a crazy week with the weather, right? I know it. And it's going to return. Winter, it has not shown up yet. We just got a little appetizer of it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think we're going to see a doozy. So there's another thing that maybe you're being blessed with, if we see this money, maybe you're supposed to do something with that. Food for thought. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. And I'll see you guys on the next video.